Brad's back. The Dogecoin kept him back. Brought him back.
True. I'm officially being paid in Safe Moon now.
And Safe Moon. And I see nothing wrong with that. Never ask for real money again.
You asking me for money is trashy. You shouldn't be asking for money.
Never ask me for money. Like, what? Why do people think I have to pay you and Nathan?
I was in some kind of labor movement.
What did I tell you about those labor movements and protesting? What did I tell you about talking about real money?
Well, Steve, I'm a staunch democratic socialist. Okay? And I need you to redistribute all of your Dogecoin to me.
You see, people, they think they need to be paid, and I don't understand it. So, Safe Moon.
Because listen, Steve, if you look at all of the great podcasts, I'll bet they started flipping burgers. Okay? You know?
They make $5 an hour plus tips. I don't know
But
what
there's
you want.
tips. But
And
the
you-
tips.
And you get the food.
Which, by the way, speaking as someone who's lived off tips before, as have you, right? That shit sucks.
It does.
Like, for people who haven't lived part of their life and been like, oh shit, my rent's due and the bar's really slow. The amount of panic attack that you have when it's like that Friday night and no one showed up yet is unreal.
But then you live in that little world of like, I need this bar to be busy to make money, but I also don't want to work. So you're panicking, and you know what's going to happen on Monday. You won't have a place to live, but there's that little part of you that's like, do I really want to work?
But is it worth it to have a roof over my head?
Yeah, you're in that little spot, like, I don't even know how to describe it. That little vacuum part, like you're in the vacuum and there's this little void. What's that going to be filled with? And that little part's like, do I want to work?
But also on the other side, is there anything worse than a bar shift where it's dead slow?
Oh, yeah. Again, it sucks because you don't really want to, especially when you're bartending, because you're moving. You're like, I don't want to do anything. But then you're kind of like, you feel guilty doing nothing.
I don't think it's guilty. It's like, at least when like you're busy, it's kind of worth it to be up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, but when you're doing nothing at a bar, you're like, should I just start drinking right now? Like, I don't know what's going on.
There are a fair amount of nights when that happened.
Like, you raise your hands and you're like, I don't.
You raise your hands and there just happens to be 2 40s tied to both of them.
And you have to drink both of them before the bar gets busy to work.
Or before you pee your pants.
Well, there's a reason why you're behind the bar and there's a sink.
Exactly. I've been behind the bar in my dirty pee pants before.
So there's been an upgrade in here. I flipped the desk, and if I can figure out how to get this webcam to not zoom back, I'm going to hang stuff up here.
Oh. You mean you have like things to put on walls?
Yeah, I have like a Bears sign. There's a Cubs thing. Maybe I'll make a thing that says the Coach Steve Show and hang it up. But
Are you you need a like a little sign like Tim Dillon has. You need a little palm tree.
Yeah, I need something, or I could put one up there that says like NFT, like put an NFT right there. I don't know, but this webcam is zoomed really far, and then when I use the computer, it's too far out. It shows like everything.
Yeah, I know. You look a lot more close up. It looks more professional.
It does, but I think I need it to be like farther away to get everything. Because that's what professional podcasters, they actually have this camera and it's set up away. Then it's plugged in their computer so they can see where it is and they click where they want it to go.
Well, no, that's when you do the real professional thing and have a fake bookshelf of books you've never read.
I have this whole bookshelf to my right of books, but 85% DVDs and Blu-rays that people don't know what those are.
Are those NFTs?
I could make those an NFT. Did you see the Charlie Bit Me sold as an NFT on off of YouTube?
For how much?
Almost $800,000.
Jesus. What?
And so now it has to be taken off YouTube because somebody owns that now.
Somebody owns it. Yeah.
I think it was like $780-some thousand, almost $800,000 that sold for.
Who bought it? Who has that much money?
I don't know. And that's what I want to know is, first of all, why would you buy that? Second of all, like, give me that $800,000.
See, I think the real play is like take something that people actually care about. Like if you're who the hell directed Lord of the Rings?
Oh, Peter
Jackson.
Hold on. I think I have it right here somewhere. It's a Blu-ray or something. But yeah, keep going.
Okay, so if you're the guy that directed Lord of the Rings, like make Lord of the Rings an NFT.
Right.
And I mean, people have their copies of it. But think about that. Think about how much that would sell for.
See, I have it right here, but it doesn't tell me. Yeah, this is a DVD, folks.
You actually...
Yeah, the DVDs.
Are they all scratched up?
No, they are in good shape.
Mint.
And then, like, The Hobbit. And then, people don't know what this is.
Did you wait to upgrade to Blu-ray until The Hobbit 2?
I don't know. That's still a DVD. I have the third one on Blu-ray. I want to say it's because even though we got a Blu-ray, the Blu-ray player can play DVDs.
So we bought a Blu-ray player. We just continued to buy DVDs.
Right, and that's why you see Blu-rays selling Blu-rays and DVDs at the same time.
Wait, I've never understood that. It's like, oh, hey, I bought a Blu-ray, but here's also this just worse version.
I think originally because they had to phase it out, kind of like they were phasing out the 360. I think that's what it was. So like, we can't just make this to be just Blu-ray. We need to make this so people will still buy it and play DVDs. But then it moved to the 4DK versions now. So those are now more expensive. It's like better than HD. And I'm like, what are we doing? But yes, I have those. But yes, we could sell Lord of the Rings as an NFT. There's a Lord of the Rings TV show coming out on Amazon.
I know. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I had a coach on here, and he's a big Lord of the Rings. He pulled out the original book. He's big. First of all, it's going to cost almost $500 million.
Oh, to film it? Yeah.
And the head of Amazon is about it. He wants it. We talked about it. This guy wants it to be like Game of Thrones.
The way Game of Thrones should have been.
Right, but here's the thing. He brought up a good point. Don't ruin it. He brought up, he goes, I haven't watched Game of Thrones. But I know, there's a lot of sex and stuff in it. He doesn't want to see that happen in Lord of the Rings. That's not what Lord of the Rings was. It's about the journeys that you've seen. So he brought up a good point.
Also, Lord of the Rings is a children's book.
Right. So I think that's what we're afraid of happening is it going to be Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings style? Like everything in Game of Thrones brought over to look like that. Because that's what they're saying. They fired people they brought in that worked on Lord of the Rings and then fired them. Because he wants it to look like Game of Thrones. And they're like, well, that's not what this is.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing that Game of Thrones, the guy that wrote Game of Thrones is like a huge Tolkien fan. So right. His whole thing, which he's even come out and said, is he wanted Game of Thrones to be Lord of the Rings minus the universal good guy and the universal bad guy. Right?
Right.
He was like, everyone's got shades of gray. Like even the worst guy has his redeemable feature. Where that's not the way Tolkien wrote. He had universal good, universal bad. You know, let's add eagles in there somewhere.
Right.
Right? I think so. Is this TV show, is it the same story? Just
I don't know. He told me, I haven't really looked into it. I don't know if it might. I can't remember if it's like after. No. It's before. It's even before The Hobbit. I think it's supposed to be. You know how they made the ring? Like we kind of saw a
yeah,
snippet. It's supposed to be like that. Like
the
way ahead.
original wars that
Yeah.
led to okay.
Speaking of, I have like this old book.
Oh, look at that. I've never read that one.
Look how small. Like it's 400 and some pages.
Who's got time to read a book?
I've been reading. I read a lot of books, and then I try to read every morning. I'm the nerd. I get up, have caffeine, and I read. Try to read like 10 pages.
Yeah.
I'm reading your boy Jordan Peterson right now.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you the book I'm reading, but I quit coffee.
All right, guys, that was a great podcast. We have to stop this. You know, it was great. We had a lot of fun at the NFT stuff. Lord of the Rings. We're gonna make an NFT. We're gonna sell for $800,000. And the guy that said I have no charisma can go stick it up the ass. I don't know what to tell you. Spelled my name wrong when they spelled it backwards too. So
nice.
So you quit coffee.
I quit coffee, and it was a little rough. Like you've known me for a long time. I live off caffeine,
and it's black coffee, right? You drink black straight out of the ground coffee.
Like it was to the point. I used to just take coffee grounds and wrap them up in a paper towel and stick them in my lip.
They make those. You don't have to do that. They make them.
This was before that, Steve.
Oh, is this before the times? Before the dark? This is the dark times.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. It was those days. But yeah, no, I gave it up. I now have one little caffeinated punch every day before I go work out, and that's it.
So see, Brad, guys, before we started, had this nice little thing we were going to do. Now we're just bullshitting it. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Brad dodged me for 3 months because he wanted real money. Nathan is still dodging me because he wants real money. Even though he's getting a new football field and a new track and a new scoreboard. I don't know what you want from me, Nathan. I can't give you that. I can't give you the attention you desire with real money.
He is going to get paid in Safe Moon too.
Safe Moon or AMC stock. I can give him one stock every 3 years. I don't know what to tell you. Where was I going with this?
I don't remember.
Oh, I was going to ask you because you are smarter than me.
Debatable.
You're smarter when it comes to diet stuff, like the caffeine stuff and the food stuff.
I mean, I'd hope so. Okay.
So our bodies have B12, right?
Yes.
So why do people say like those B12 tablets are supposed to be like natural energy? Like when you have either those or like the spray things when they say they have B12, are you just adding more and that's supposed to like be nature's energy?
No. So B12 works as like it's the grease that lets the wheels spin.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So it's not necessarily energy, it's just like your body can still function. Is that kind of
it helps the energy that you're taking in be more effective.
So like if you took B12 and had a coffee, it's going to help with your body to put that where it needs to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heard it's like nature's energy. So like people that have those either pre-workouts or they have Rich Piana was a bodybuilder. He has his 5% supplement company. He passed away a few years ago. He has this drink thing called All Day You May, and it's literally like this drink you can drink all day, and it has B12. in it. So I didn't know if that was like energy. So I was getting ready to tell you, like, just take that. It's energy. Take the Mio squirts. I don't know.
No, weirdly enough, like after I had that initial like shitty couple days getting off caffeine, like I feel a lot better. And actually, I read a study that made me kind of think about this is like if you're one of those people that first thing in the morning you wake up and just pound a coffee or something, like that leads to an earlier crash in your day because you're not allowing your system to like naturally get moving. You know what I mean? So I noticed like I'm still get that like afternoon lull, but it happens much later in the afternoon now, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, see, I still have I'm awake for probably an hour before I have caffeine. But then I don't have to, but it's a habit. I have an energy drink. But I will not allow myself to have it after like 1:30. 1:30, between 1:30 and 2, it's got to be gone, or I'm not going to allow myself to have it because then
Yeah.
I won't go to bed or it's going to be a shit sleep. But like today, we had the workers in here, so I've only had coffee today. I had no energy drink today because I had none. No energy drink today because they were here, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
But the other day, I had an energy drink and I started yawning, and I could have went to sleep. So I'm at the point now where I'm immune to caffeine,
It's a rough spot to be in.
and I'm really afraid for the day where I'm like, I'm going to stop altogether.
My advice is like if you've got a weekend off, like you have no plans, just go without it.
I don't know if I can give it up altogether. I think I can get rid of the energy drinks, but it's going to have to be coffee or like there's like these, the noon, there's spelled like NUUN. They're these little tablets and they just have a little bit of caffeine, not much, not even 100, like way less than that. And you mix it with water and drink it. It'd have to be something like that where I have to have it,
Yeah.
especially when I like football starts June 7th already, Brad. Like there is no time off. Like
Whoa.
this is the words from Illinois. Go back to normal when it comes to scheduling the sports.
I mean, that's nice to hear, right?
It is, but when I don't get done with track till June 3rd or 4th, if I have a girl go to state June 12th, which I
State?
won't. I don't. Yeah, girls track state is June 12th.
No, I mean, she's going to the state meet.
No, I have no girl throwing state qualifying right now.
Okay.
Yeah, one's close, so I have to tell her to take a dive. I have to tell her at sectionals next week to take a dive. We have conference Thursday, sectionals next week. Like, I'm selling this Lord of the Rings NFT. I will give you half if you don't throw.
I'll give you half of my Lord of the Rings FTE that I have no right to.
And if she starts to come at me, I'll be like, I'll give you a Nathan Safe Moon for the month. If you
I will give you 3 Dogecoins.
That's a little rich though. I don't know if I want to give her the Dogecoin.
But it's up to 60 cents.
I still need to get I'm joking, I've not bought it yet.
It's going to $1, Steve. You need to get on it now.
I saw how much it crashed one time, then I saw how much Bitcoin crashed, and I was like, never mind.
Dude, Bitcoin lost big.
Well, because you can blame Elon Musk for that.
Yeah. Which is scary. But at the same time, you buy the dip.
Well, I didn't know that he was taking payments of Bitcoin for cars.
Yeah. That pretty famously, Tesla did that a while back.
I didn't know that was still a thing though.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
guys. Again, Brad wanted to be professional, but he's been gone so long because he wanted me to pay him. He doesn't know the show is just off the cuff now. This is Joe Rogan now. I am
Listen,
now the Joe Rogan show.
Steve, my my landlord won't accept SafeMoon for rent.
But that sounds like a you problem.
I'm not spending the time to figure out where I'm positioned in the market.
But see, Brad, neither does my landlord. This is a cardboard wall. I'm outside right now.
Fun fact, I'm homeless.
I'm outside right now. This is a cardboard box in front of a building.
You want the real fun fact? I'm not even at home. I think you can tell by the fact that this isn't a crack house. I'm in the jewel of southeastern Missouri, Poplar Bluff.
See, that was the first time I heard of that place. I had to Google it.
It is a literal shithole.
So you went from a crack house to a crack hotel.
Yes.
Now, is this the Cecil Hotel? Are you okay? Don't go
I'm
to the
actu-
water towers.
I'm actually dead.
Are you actually in the water tower right now? Are you floating in water?
Yeah. No, so I've been stuck here. I am getting ready to finish a book right now. So I went to go see if there was a bookstore close by because I'm an old person and like to read a physical book. And there isn't a bookstore within 100 miles.
So that explains
Let
a
that
lot.
sink in. Let
I was
that sink in.
I was gonna say that explains a lot about Missouri. That explains we're connecting the dots.
And the first person I talked to in Missouri literally came up to me and was like, "Well, howdy." And I was like, "Where the fuck am I?"
Are you really in Kentucky? Is it close to Kentucky?
No. It's close to Arkansas,
Okay, maybe that kind of makes more sense.
but
Huh.
I hate this place.
Yeah, don't go outside. It sounds like Deliverance.
It's true. You walk outside and there is a banjo. I
Is there a
have yet to find where it is. I think the town plays it over a loudspeaker.
It's on constant repeat.
Yeah.
Banjo.
All
You
the
can
time.
you can make that an NFT.
Why haven't I made it an NFT? Steve?
How do you really make an NFT? Because I'm starting to see them.
No one knows.
Okay, because we're 23 minutes in and we have not done anything you've wanted to do. We've done what I've wanted to do.
Okay, what do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about Marvel or do you want to talk about my college football thing?
I don't know, but I have this not even opened. I just want you to know I found it. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
People don't know what that is. And I got to get my LeBron James token. This is the real.
Jesus, Steve, no one cares. It's not even a good movie.
Well, this has been a great podcast. I'm going to make a Space Jam NFT and sell it for $1 million. And I might get $3.
I think his airness would have something to say about you making $1 million off that NFT.
And then I'll tell him just go make another shoe.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the college football thing.
Oh yeah. So
okay. So I'll start this. So the other day I'm having an argument with someone who will not be named. But it got a little contentious.
It wasn't me, guys, because Brad hasn't talked to me in 3 months.
But I got a little fired up because we were talking about who the greatest college football player of all time was. Now, at the time, we were talking all time. And this person, again, will not be named because I don't want them to feel so embarrassed. Tried to make a case for Trevor Lawrence.
Was it Rhonda?
It was not Rhonda.
Oh.
I would say. Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, huh?
Tried to make a case for Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Okay.
For Pippi Longstocking, go on.
Exactly. Now, you could say there is a case there.
there's a
Trevor.
case for, you could make a case for him as one of the best, like one of the consistent players or quarterbacks you have seen.
Yes.
You can make that case.
Yeah. But in my eyes, there's only one answer to that question. And it is our Lord and Savior, football Jesus, Timothy Tebow.
Timothy, the tight end Tebow.
Exactly. Now, pro career, we're just talking about college.
Just college.
And that was quickly poo-pooed, saying that he was a system player. Now, hear me out. You can make that case for anybody.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. So when you say system, because that was the thing with the Patriots, like, is Tom Brady good because of the system or whatever? Define system and define offense. Because as
Okay,
a
so
coach, Urban Meyer's offense was designed for that, but he does what Tim Tebow was good at. So define system and offense.
basically, Tim Tebow was in the exact perfect offense to make him look like a better player than he actually was.
But he was good at running the football, so you want to run the spread and option. He was good at play actioning because he can run.
And he had a decent arm.
And he had a decent arm. So whoever made that case, are you talking about culture? Is that what they meant? Like he's a culture person? Or are they talking about like, oh, just because he played? That makes no sense because NFL coaches do not adapt to their players. They want the players to adapt to what they do. In college, they want to adapt the offense or defense to their player. So that to me has to be thrown out the window because it's like, yeah, they ran an offense that was built for Tim Tebow because that's what he could do. If Tim Tebow was a pocket passer, they would have ran Alabama's offense. They would have been an I formation. He would have passed it.
And also, let's not forget the fact that Tim Tebow was so good that he wouldn't let Cam Newton sniff the field.
Yeah, so he is that nice competitor. He's going to tell you on the outside he praises Lord and Jesus, but he's actually Jesus, and he's going to look at Cam Newton and basically say like, you know, go kick rocks.
You're going to hell, buddy.
Yeah, go put your teeth on the curb. I'll be there in a second.
Okay, so then that got me thinking. If you had to create a top 5 of players that we've watched play, okay, of all time, here's mine. You ready? Tebow number 1,
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Bush number 2,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson 3, Ndamukong Suh 4, and then Colt McCoy's 5.
Okay.
Now, there are some honorable mentions. Terrell Pryor.
Ooh, that's going back.
Right?
The slowest, fastest running back or quarterback.
But do you remember how unstoppable he was?
Right. Well, that's what was so frustrating was he looked like we could run faster.
That he would just stride out and get 8 yards every time.
He reminds me of Justin Fields a
Don't
little bit. But no, no. I'm not bringing that into the conversation.
Let's not argue about this again.
No. But I'm just saying, like that's who they're very similar.
Yeah, and actually, I think they run about the same.
I think Justin Fields just has a longer stride.
You mean Terrell Pryor has a longer stride?
Terrell Pryor has a longer stride.
Yeah.
It's either the same person. I don't know.
Well, they both have that like easy speed.
They have that easy speed, and they're very elusive without looking like they are.
Yeah.
Unless you're Justin Fields and can't take a hit in the back like a man. I don't know.
That was a dumb targeting call. We
It
all
was.
agree. That
It
was
was
stupid.
done. Now, would I have died from that hit? Absolutely. But
I
that's not
would
the point.
be what's his name from Friday Night Lights. Just super paralyzed.
Super.
My girlfriend cucks me, like, just throw me in a dumpster. But anyway,
God, what was his name now? That's going to bother me. Jason. Is that his name? Jason Street.
Jason Street, yeah.
I literally looked at the street over there, and that's what.
All I could think of was Lance Harbor, which that's the wrong football movie.
Lance Harbor.
Yeah, it's
What?
Varsity Blues.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so Terrell Pryor, Vince Young, honorable mention for me. Darren McFadden, because everyone should always remember him single-handedly beating LSU. And then the most recent one on this list is Baker Mayfield, because he was unbelievably electric in college.
He was very good.
Yes. So who do you have? And then I'm interested to understand where you sit on where Tebow ranks in all-time college football players.
I'm going off the cuff, so I have like 3 names, and the rest I'm going to just say. Our top 2 are similar: Tim Tebow and Reggie Bush, because we were still young to watch Reggie Bush, but we can remember how electric that was.
Well, and if you don't remember, go and watch his college highlights.
Yeah, guys, he won the Heisman Trophy, regardless what they're going to tell you. He won the Heisman. I mean,
so
Tim
what
Tebow,
if his mom got a car and a house?
yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what
It
started.
doesn't change what he did on the field, which was undeniably electric.
Right. Like Tim Tebow, Reggie Bush. I have Vince Young up there because he's very electric. I even had Julio Jones on there because he was
Good.
good.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good.
In an Alabama offense pre-throwing the ball.
Could you imagine him on the team with throwing the football?
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Ooh, big miss by me.
But now, the only reason why I bring that up is because of his last year. I understand why people don't think of him because Tim Tebow played for, 3 or 4 years. So that's another knock of like, are we talking about 1 year, 2 years? Because some people are going to say Cam Newton, which I do not put up there. He was very good. But there's a reason why you didn't start over Tim Tebow.
True. I think
Mark Ingram, he was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark Ingram. That's
and Laurinaitis, the linebacker from Ohio State.
Hell of a career, yes.
Even though Illinois beat him.
Never
Jay
forget.
Lehman outplayed him.
Yep.
So those are like my top 7-ish from our time. This is from our time, like watching these. Because I could say Carson Palmer, but that was like right before. But that was like on the verge.
We really weren't like fully dove into sports yet.
Right. But if you want to keep going that way, I know some people talk about Mark Sanchez. He was really good in college.
And for a little while in the pros. There's a reason he was the Sanchez.
And then the butt fumble happened.
Yeah, and then yeah. So to me, career longevity has something to do with being the GOAT. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't call, I don't know, who had like Joe Burrow's the perfect case study for that.
Because he played 2 years?
Yeah. He played 1 year at LSU that was good. And then he had the best season of all time. And he's probably going to be a great pro. but he's not the greatest college football player of all time.
No, that's why he was like below. Like if you wanted to look how good, yeah,
Yes.
I think you have to put him up there. Uh,
I think Tebow earns his points because he did it for 3 years.
and he came in special situations when Chris Leak was the quarterback.
Won a championship then.
Right. That's where I think we saw the Tim Tebow jump pass coming
For the first time.
Right. Did he play for 4 years? If you include that year, was that all 4?
Yes.
Then a Heisman finalist for 3 years. Like he was in the talk for the Heisman 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and beats Alabama and wins the championship. Then his last game against Cincinnati threw for like 500 and some yards.
I think the thing that hurts him is he only won one as a starter.
Yes. Now we're going to get into like the NBA conversation that I get into, but we're not going to say the names. But when I get into this debate, which I would love to have a debate with somebody where we don't make it personal. When we talk about the greatest of all time, you have to look at the whole body. No. But this is what I'm saying. That's the knock on Tim Tebow, but you have to look at who he played. He had to go against the Nick Saban Alabama defenses, probably twice at some points. Back then, LSU was really good at defense.
Those Les Miles LSU teams that would kick the shit out of you.
What was it? Glenn
Remember,
Dorsey.
Glenn Dorsey could have been on this list.
Right. So I think you could knock that is a knock on Tim Tebow. But they still only lost if they lost a game, it was to like Alabama or LSU. Besides the 1 year where they lost to Old Miss, maybe?
Mississippi State.
Yeah, and that's where he had the speech.
And remember, he looked all bloody.
That was Florida State.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. They lost to Old Miss or Mississippi State, and that's where that speech came of like, I promise you nobody's going to play as hard as I have the rest of the year.
And was that the year they won it?
And then they go on to win it.
Yeah.
But he was a sophomore.
Yeah, the balls to say something like that as a sophomore. Also, is Johnny Manziel on this list?
He's on the ESPN thing. But again, was that just the 1 year where he was really, really good, or was this a couple of times?
I mean, he was pretty electric his whole career. I think the team around him got dramatically worse with time.
They did beat Alabama, I think, that 1 year, or they beat somebody.
I mean, he used to be super enjoyable to watch. It was pure chaos every drop back.
So, did you watch the Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle podcast, the last one they did? He calls we're coming back on topic, but I need someone. He calls Jamie Fingers, so he's always like Fingers over there, young Jamie, because he's typing. So I was thinking to myself just now, I need fingers. I need someone to type this. Yeah, like I just typed in Johnny Manziel college football career. It only shows freshman, sophomore. In 2012 and 2013.
Did he get kicked off his team?
He was suspended for a little bit.
Yeah, because didn't he take money?
Yeah, he won the Heisman in 2012, and then he was the 5th in Heisman in 2013. Then he was taken first round, number 22 overall in 2014 draft. In 2012, he threw for 3,706 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 2013, he threw for 4,114 yards, threw for 37 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
I mean, those are really good numbers.
That's just his stats. I wonder what.
I would want to know what their wins and losses were. But then again, do quarterback wins matter?
They do and they don't, I guess, but it depends on what you're talking about. Greatest of all time, they might, but we could sit here and say greatest of all time.
I mean, you can't be the greatest of all time and have been on shitty teams.
Right. Well, I was going to say I don't want to make a case against Tim Tebow. Do we? But do we remember who he had? See, again, we're going to the NBA, and I'm not going to go that far. But look who he had, though. But were they good because Tim Tebow was really good at running the football?
No, they were good because they were powered up by all the murders.
Oh, right. Of silly me.
Yeah, the murders, Steve.
The murders.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest argument you can make against Tim Tebow, or one of the biggest, is the fact that you weren't even allowed to play as that team on NCAA football.
Oh, it's over there. I have the game sitting over there.
Yeah, they weren't allowed.
No, that speed option was unstoppable, and the jet sweeps with Percy Harvin. Because remember Percy Harvin? Remember how good he was? Like you had him, you had Cooper, a wide receiver, you had Spikes, you had the Pouncey brothers,
and you had Aaron Hernandez.
And Aaron Hernandez out doing cocaine and strangling people and shooting them. Like it was just it was a simpler time for murders.
It was a simpler time. It was a better time.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Where you could just murder people in Miami and not have to face any repercussions.
You just call The Rock and he would bail you out. Even though he went to the U, you could still call him. Texas A&M in 2012 went 11-2. That was a really good year. And then in 2013 they went 9-4. They won the Chick-Fil-A Bowl that year.
Got it. Okay. I think, yeah, I just can't put Manziel on there. Like, I think Colt McCoy makes my top 5 because of his just sustained success.
Yeah, people forget how good those Texas teams were.
Oh, my God. And do you remember he had that white wide receiver, Jordan Shipley?
Yeah, he can return punts, too.
Who was like 26.
Yeah, he would return punts. They were roommates.
Mm-hmm.
But they had Arakpo, is that how you say his name? That defensive end,
Brian Arakpo. Yep.
Yeah, like once in a while, I go on YouTube and rewatch that Texas Tech game. It's on YouTube, and I forget all the players on that Texas team. Mm-hmm. Then you had Graham Harrell come in and Michael Crabtree and beat you. And people always forget this. Wes Welker was on Texas Tech a few years before that.
Mm-hmm.
With Mike Leach. He was really good.
Texas Tech had a really good run of like quality NFL players.
Yeah, the quiet NFL players you didn't really know. But Michael Crabtree was really good. I can't remember if he left as a senior, but it was like the year before that year he was really good and then just exploded that year and they went 11-2.
Yeah, because remember he was going to go to Texas.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make him a safety.
Mm-hmm. You know another player we're forgetting, because you want to talk about wins and losses, but who was pretty good? RG3.
There's an argument for him to be up there all time. Because you're talking about longevity, you're talking about wins minus his last year.
Because Illinois beat them in the Cotton Bowl. Nathan Shieldhouse and them beat Baylor that year.
Mm-hmm.
But there was times they went like 9, maybe they won like 6 games or 7 games, but he was really good though.
Well, when he won the Heisman.
Yeah, they didn't win a lot. They didn't win the Big 12 or anything, but they were really good.
Yeah.
We're just adding players, and I don't know where this debate or conversation's going, but still, I mean, these are good points. Like, is Tim Tebow really good because of the players? You and I both agree. I think he had really good players, but why were they so good? Tim Tebow was actually a good passer.
In college, he was.
Right, and you want to talk about an offense? If you're a defense and you're like, okay, we have to worry about Tim Tebow throwing the football, but we also have to worry about him running. That changes the offense to allow a Cooper to get open because Tim Tebow can give him the ball. That makes them focus on the box so much because now you can get Percy Harvin on a jet sweep. Now you have to make this decision. Do we go after Percy Harvin or Tim Tebow? So,
think about how much of a game changer it was at the time to have a guy like Tim Tebow that's going to run the option, but is going to take it right up the center.
Right, because that was the time I was explaining to people this. The offense we played in high school, that spread offense was like the forbidden fruit in Adam and Eve. Like we weren't supposed to do that. But you and I would watch Oregon. We would watch. Did we even watch Urban Meyer when he was at Utah or whatever?
No.
I don't remember. But that's why we watched like this changing offense in Oregon with Chip Kelly, and then Urban Meyer did it. Mike Leach was doing it. So for that time to have Oregon do it, but they're fast. Now to have Tim Tebow, who's fast but could lower his shoulder, like.
Oh, and there's a really cool YouTube video of Tim Tebow just every truck that he ever had in college. And you should watch it because there are NFL linebackers that you just watch Tim Tebow remind them that he's their father.
Yeah, like I died for your sins. Here I am.
Me, holy football Jesus, am here for your sins.
Now watch out, bitch, and like run them over.
But here's I guess, can you pull up Tim Tebow's stats, his college stats?
Oh, fingers! I'll get on.
I'll do it up.
College football stats. I mean, overall, his completion percentage was 66.4%.
Mm-hmm.
He threw for 9,285 yards. He had 88 passing touchdowns and 16 interceptions. He had 2,947 rushing yards. He averaged 4.3 yards a carry. He had 57 rushing touchdowns.
So think about that. He basically averaged 1,000 yards a year on the ground.
Yeah, what hurt those stats was his freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Because his freshman year, he had 358 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Then his freshman year rushing, he had 469 yards rushing, but he had 8 rushing touchdowns, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was that sophomore year. That sophomore year was 23 rushing touchdowns.
Well, remember, no one knew how to defend that offense.
No one knew how to defend that offense, and no one said, what do we make Tim Tebow do? Do we make him pass or do we make him run at that time?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to say, Tim Tebow is not in the conversation of greatest of all time. I was looking at the top 100. He wasn't until 70s.
Yeah, it was 76, which is obnoxious.
But I think they knock on it because he had Percy Harvin, he had Amari Cooper, he had this. I think that's what they look at. But we can make that conversation with all these other that's why I think to me
you
the
want
second best.
You want to talk about how many NFL offensive linemen Reggie Bush ran behind?
Well, I was going to say that's why to me the second best is almost Reggie Bush. But if you want to talk about players around him going into those USC teams, you had Carson Palmer's of the world, you had what's his face, who's an announcer at Fox now,
Matt Leinart.
He was really good. You had offensive linemen, you had the wide receivers.
I mean, you had a couple Hall of Fame offensive linemen on that team.
Right.
I
think that's the knock on Alabama players too, is look at these guys. So it is hard to make that argument of look at these players. So that's why the conversation is, are you talking about wins and losses? Are you talking about stats? Again, certain debates I get into about a certain thing, it's about stats, but then we got to look at the whole picture. And then you got to think of it from a coach perspective of we were talking about offense and defenses. So you got to look at it from that perspective. Don't say he's a system quarterback, but that's not a good, valid thing to do because the coach is going to adapt to what he can do.
It's true. And you watched Urban Meyer change his offense over time.
Right. And then
the Ohio State offense looked nothing like Florida.
It didn't, and it did. It did when he had a running quarterback. He likes to run the quarterback, and that's Dan Mullen, for example. Dan Mullen worked for Urban Meyer, and that's where that came from. So when he had Dak Prescott at Mississippi State, Dak Prescott could run the football. So that's why you saw a lot of Kyle Trask trying to run the football, which we still don't know why.
Yeah.
Even if it's 3rd and 1, I still don't want him to do it. I mean, he could. But a lot of that stuff, like he's not a runner. He's a passing quarterback. He can move around the pocket and throw, but he can't. Not a Mitchell Trubisky. But you know, I mean, Mitchell Trubisky. No. But Mitchell Trubisky can like play action, move outside the pocket, run up a little bit, and throw from the side. Kyle Trask is the guy like, oh, you want him to sprint out for a second, plant, and then throw it? Perfect. That's why you saw Dan Mullen's Florida offense. He's trying to run Kyle a lot because that was the offense he ran with Urban Meyer. But Urban Meyer's pretty good at adapting. So like, oh, I have a running quarterback, but can he pass? Great. Like Terrell Pryor could pass. So let's not do that.
So let's put it this way. If you throw Tim Tebow into those LSU teams at the same time.
Like the Joe Burrow?
No. The LSU teams in the early 2000s.
Oh, put him on those teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the LSU team that won a national championship.
Uh-huh.
To me, those LSU teams are instantly better.
Now they are, but they would be better. But would they still be Florida standards? Because Les Miles would make him go under center and hand the ball off. He would not play to Tim Tebow's strength. So I think he'd still be good and the team would be better, but he would not have these stats that he has right now.
That's a good point. His stats would take a hit. I do think he would have won more than one national championship.
Maybe. I still think Florida's teams were really talented.
Yeah, but those LSU teams were stacked. But they just never had a quarterback.
But you have to get through Alabama.
Yeah, but Alabama then wasn't what it is now.
That's when he was becoming that.
I know. It was the beginning of their dynasty, but it was like it was early. They had just gotten done with like the Glenn Coffey era.
It was that 2008, 2009 when Alabama was like, because Nick Saban's first year was like 2007. But then 2008, they were really good. Then 2009, they were really good. That's when you had the big boy Davis in the middle, Cody Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You had like those dudes. That was back when Nick Saban wanted a big defense.
That was Marcel Darius.
Yeah, those were good. That was a good Alabama team.
Those defenses were huge.
They were huge and they could move.
Yeah.
And then they get to the NFL.
They were like an old school 3-4.
Because that's what Nick Saban brought from the NFL. He wanted that 3-4 and he wanted big some bitches in the middle that could eat hay behind the barn. Like,
and it worked. Really was scarily well.
But this is a different conversation. That's why Nick Saban's one of the best college football coaches, because now he's adapted. He's like, I don't need this big ass defense anymore. But I think that's what gave Alabama fits with Florida, was because they ran that spread and Tim Tebow was running. Mm-hmm. But if that's the only team you have to worry about, Nick Saban was going to keep his big defense.
Yeah. But then everyone else kind of hopped on that train.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Okay, that's really, I just needed validation that I was right. And football Jesus is still football Jesus. And he's our Lord and Savior.
He's our Lord and Savior. And I think the next electrical person would have been Reggie Bush. He was just, he's the right there with them. With Tim
just
Tebow.
Different.
Right. Yeah. You put him on any team, it was going to be instantly better. Now I know he had the lineman, but you put him on some team, all the focus was going to be on Reggie Bush. And he was going to break those tackles and he was going to move. And also, I know we need to move on because you want to be professional and not or whatever. But Vince Young was the same thing. Very electrical.
Yeah.
And longevity.
Electric. You know who we didn't say and is probably the best defensive player maybe of all time?
Who's that?
The Honey Badger.
But he decided to smoke pot.
I know, but if he would have stayed his entire career, at LSU. Do you remember how crazy good he was?
Oh, he was really good, and it translates to the NFL.
And he basically plays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would line up at slot corner and drop into a deep third.
So I want you to know, I just looked up Alabama real quick because I cannot remember for the life of me when they were good.
Yeah.
In 2008, they were 12-2.
2008?
Yes. 2007, they went 7-6 when he got there. Then the very next year, they go 12-2. And then in 2009, they go 14-0.
Okay.
It did not take Nick Saban long. They in the 2008 they lost in the Sugar Bowl, and then that 2009 they won the championship.
Which, by the way, is what I expect out of Brett Bielema.
Yes, you can go 7-6. Then I won 12-2 the next year.
And then 8 championships.
Then we won 8 championships. They have to be NFTs every year so we could get money. And then I want to see the football coaches being paid in Dogecoin as it goes on.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That was a long conversation.
It was. It's also the most like sports conversation I think you and I have ever had.
Yeah, but no charisma.
No charisma.
I think they watched the COVID brain one, and that's probably where that came from.
Where you failed to defend your guy.
You know what? Nathan would say a sentence or talk for 2 minutes, and I'm sitting here going, I have no idea what he just said.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Illinois basketball?
Oh, they hired Chester Freight. See, you guys haven't talked to me for 3 months. Don't want to do the podcast no more. I get it.
Listen, Steve, I just need money.
Safe Moon is enough.
Listen, it was.
You know what? You want money? Go to Chelsea Handler. That's where you'll get your money.
If you were even paying me in Dogecoin, I would be happy.
I don't know what you want. I'll give you Barstool stock.
I mean, that's actually not bad.
While we're here, damn it.
What are you doing?
The Coach Steve Show is sponsored by the Launchpad Kickoff Tee. If you're a football coach out there, high school, college, NFL, doesn't matter, and you're looking for that edge for your special teams, for your kicker, for the kickoff, onsides, you guys need to go to launchpadkickoff.com. If you have a younger guy trying to develop the kicker, you want the ball to get to the end zone, you need to go to Launchpad Kickoff Tee. This tee gives a coach a strategic options for squib kicks, onsides, everything. It is proven that your kicker will kick off farther. It is legal for NCAA, for high school. Okay. The Launchpad Kickoff Tee is a game changer. So if you go to launchpadkickoff.com/CSS to use the code CSS, you can get a Launchpad Kickoff Tee for 10% off. So go to launchpadkickoff.com/CSS. You can use the code CSS for the Coach Steve Show to get 10% off. Also, there's a bundle. You can get one for 10% off. You can go to 2 and get more percent off. Or there's an option to buy 4. If you click the option to buy the 4 kickoff tees, if you like it so much, when you use the code CSS, you'll get the 4th one free. So instead of paying full price for all 4, you'll get 3. So go to launchpadkickoff.com/CSS, use the code CSS, get 10% off, buy 4 to get the 4th one free. This is a game changer, guys. It does more than just hold your balls. Go get the Launchpad Kickoff Tee today to give your kicker an edge for next season. I've been messing, trying to figure out what an overlay is and trying to figure that out. So I try to make this background where it'll show like the Twitters, but it just doesn't work. Because this is what an overlay is, and I can't figure out how to make it for free because I don't want to pay for it. Like this. Like if I could get something, this is the free one they give me. If I could figure something out, I'm just not tech savvy.
Don't know.
You have to buy Adobe for like $300 a year, and I'm just not about it.
I guarantee your school has Adobe for free.
We do, but we don't have the Adobe like podcast stuff. We don't have the. It's very strange. If we do, I can't figure out how to get on it. but I've gone on to make pictures and stuff. But
I almost guarantee your school has Adobe like multimedia suite.
they might. I thought of this too. I think they might, but it might be on the computer lab computers. I don't know about. I'd have to do it at the school.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to do that because, like, if they have a journalism class,
Well, they have a technology class.
I guarantee it's on those computers.
But I don't even know if we're allowed to use the library computers because of COVID.
I don't know. You should find out.
Well, school is
Oh,
done June 4th, so
get on it, Steve.
I don't care.
Um, so how do you feel about Chester Frazier?
I loved it. Bring him home.
I like it too.
And then I was kind of hoping they get Roger Powell as well, but that was going to be a tough hire.
Well, we're not getting him away from Gonzaga.
Well, that's why. Like I thought they could have. Then I didn't know Chester Frazier was on the radar.
I didn't either, and it kind of came out of left field. I also still don't have Twitter, so
I got in a debate with the DC at Clifton Central today
okay.
about LBJ, but he came after me.
Is
And one of
he?
the first things he said was, "Did Dr. Biscuits get his Twitter back?"
Oh, really?
Yes. Now I ignored that comment of his because he pissed me off so much. So if he ever listens to this, he pissed me off a lot. He's on thin ice to where I'm starting to get personal because he makes it personal. But he did ask if you had your Twitter.
Yeah. No, I can't.
You're missing
I've
the
tried.
hatred.
I've tried 3 times. It just runs you in a circle.
Do you want me to try
I've
on my suburb connection?
No, it just runs you in a circle. You do like this 4-hour thing where they're like, "Is this really you?" And then it takes you back to the original screen.
But
Where
you
it's like,
tried on.
"Oh,
Did you try installing it and reinstalling it?
yes,"
That because I asked a coach about it, and he said, "Hey, have him try this." He was actually
because
very.
I've noticed like I'm too happy.
So
I need Twitter.
you need the hatred.
I need the hate back in my life.
But I also need you back on there because then we can balance it. I'm getting too much hatred because I did very well on that NBA player conversation, and then you got off Twitter and everything just fell off the rails.
It's yeah, I feel like I'm missing a lot of the conversations that I want to be in.
You just need to make a new one, I guess.
Oh, by the way, fucking Raising Cane's has a new commercial. Have you seen it?
They have
So they're saying, "Hey, we're going to give you a bunch of shit to make a sandwich. But you've got to cut the bread yourself."
before you
Have you
get.
watched the commercial?
I have, but before you fly off, have you noticed ever since we did that, it's been popping up more with like a commercial sponsorships. Do I need to play the commercial for people?
No. I don't want to see the goddamn commercial. Fucking, are you about to play the commercial?
I am not. I can. It's on YouTube.
You can't.
They'll probably take it down. They'll probably get
Good.
flagged.
Good. So anyway, Raising Cane's comes out with this fucking commercial where they're trying to make themselves look like a real restaurant. But
It's not. Yeah, they make it look like they look like a sit-down family restaurant, and it's not.
And they're showing it's like, "Hey, here's the components of a sandwich." But we're so fucking lazy. You have to cut this piece of bread yourself and stick our fucking chicken strips in there and dunk it into our one sauce.
Our expired ranch chipotle sauce.
Just the balls of that company.
You know what? They get like 1% respect for taking the swing. But read the room. We're not going to cut our own fucking bread. Feel the room and read this.
You
I
think
can make my own chicken.
exactly.
When I go to a restaurant, I don't mind that there's chicken strips on the damn menu, but I better see a burger on the other side of the menu. I better see something else.
And also, I kind of feel the same way about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, but the only thing that saves Chick-fil-A is that Tim Tebow makes them closed every Sunday.
It's true because Chick-fil-A respects our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and also hates gays. But, you know, I don't get how you could have a restaurant and basically only make a chicken sandwich.
Or no, chicken
Which is what
strips.
Chick-fil-A does. But Chick-fil-A, what do they actually like? I've been to Chick-fil-A once.
In the union at school when I worked there, there was a Chick-fil-A. Now back then, it was just their sandwich, and then you had the waffle fries. But then they gradually learned, what if we make chicken nuggets? So they made those. They put a pickle on the sandwich. So that was like the big thing. Then they were like, what if we put a piece of cheese on there too? Then it just moved. Now they've grown. They have like a healthy sandwich. They have a salad. They've grown a little bit, but it's still just chicken.
I don't get it. I don't get the like a chicken sandwich has an upper limit to like how good it could possibly be.
I want to look at Chick-fil-A's menu. And we brought this up.
Like if somebody's sitting there talking about Chick-fil-A and they're jizzing in their pants about it.
Oh, they have breakfast now. Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, egg white grill, hash brown scramble burrito, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Okay, so they branched out.
Hash browns, sausage and egg cheese muffin, Greek yogurt parfait, fruit cup.
See, this is stuff Raising Cane's needs to take notes.
Now their normal stuff, they have the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, Chick-fil-A Deluxe, which is just cheese, lettuce, tomato, and the chicken. They have the spicy chicken sandwich, grilled chicken. Then they've got their nuggets, like Chick-fil-A nuggets, grilled nuggets, Chick-fil-A Cool Wrap.
So do people just eat at Chick-fil-A because they want to feel like they're a child again?
I think they feel like they're a child or they're afraid they're going to go to hell. It's one of the two.
So if I eat this ignorant chicken, our Lord and Savior will forgive me.
Right.
For my sins. Cool.
Or you can be like Ralphie May and get high, go order Chick-fil-A, and then realize as you're in the drive-thru, it's Sunday. Did you ever see that?
No.
Ralphie May stand up when he said that?
No, but that's funny.
Oh, you remember how funny he was?
Oh, yeah. Is he dead?
Listen. Yeah, he passed away. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast like way back when Joe Rogan started it. He was a guest a couple of times.
Yeah.
They got high and talked about aliens.
Did you know who else was super funny but it ends up as a total piece of shit? Do you remember Carlos Mencia?
Yeah, he turned into a piece of shit and then he like stole comedians' material.
And you know Joe Rogan's the one that called him out on that, right?
Yeah, they were at the comedy store that they all go to in California.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Rogan called him out on it, and they almost got in a fight on stage. And I'm like, Joe Rogan will kick your ass. Like,
oh yeah.
Joe Rogan was banned from that place for a couple years
because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk Marvel a little bit?
We should, because we're getting fired up on chicken. Now, I will say this:
yeah.
Chick-fil-A's website's even better than Raising Cane's.
Well, it has to be because they have an actual menu.
They have an actual. It was colorful. It was long. It was more. It was breakfast items, lunch items, dessert items. I think there was a picture of Jesus on there. Like it was just.
See, then this is the stuff that I look for in a chicken sandwich.
Since I moved everything, I'm right by the bookshelf. Let's talk about our Lord and Savior.
Like when I eat a chicken sandwich, I like to think to myself, would the people behind this chicken sandwich want to give electroshock therapy to gay people.
And you have to make that decision.
And then that tells me whether it's a good chicken sandwich or not. You know? Because if God doesn't approve, who am I to eat this sandwich? You know? It's just food for thought.
It's food for thought. It's a waste of taxpayer money. You just know what it is.
Okay.
Just take them out back and take a crossbow, and we'll get this over with.
I'll get my turkey call out. Okay, so I finally finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It took me like an extra month and a half because I don't have Twitter to make me angry enough that I have to dive into Marvel.
Well, before you get going, we all said this, and me and Logan said this too. Me and Logan have done Geek Corner a while, but I have HBO now. I need to watch the Snyder Cut, I guess. I haven't seen any other DC movies though besides Batman's, like the good ones. None. Yeah. I've never seen Aquaman. I've never seen Batman vs Superman.
Aquaman's good.
Well, I'll have to watch them. But Marvel has just set the standard. Falcon Winter Soldier was great because you could just turn your brain off, though. So there was no, like, conspiracy theory.
No. But you could shut your brain off, but at the same time, like, the story behind it, I thought was super interesting.
It was because one of the things we all said during WandaVision was we have to address the blip, the snap. Like, how does this affect everything? And Falcon the Winter Soldier really hit on it because I think Thanos was right. What's going on in the real world right now, I think he was right.
I think there's something to be said for there's too many people on this planet. Right now. There is. Like, we are going to outcompete our ability to create food very soon. Which is a real problem, and no one's talking about it, but it's real. And I think the idea that they brought up in Falcon Winter Soldier were like, oh, hey, when half the population left, everyone just opened their borders up. And they were just happy if people showed up to help do work.
Mm-hmm. Then the people, but that's the thing they brought up. Everyone came back, and the people that came back, they're like, let's go back to normal, like immediately. And what were they called? The Flag Smashers?
Yeah.
They were villains. Let's not get it twisted. People were like, they're not villains. And I'm not saying they're villains because of how they're going about it. The cause they wanted, I understood after a while. Like, I get it. It's just how you're going about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny how they filmed this. They brought it into like what we're all actually going through in the real world. And it wasn't too far one way or too far the other way. Like a lot of Hollywood people do because they're out of touch.
The story was interesting. I also thought it was interesting, like, you have the fake Captain America, who I ended up rooting for at the end.
Yeah, he brought it back when he what was it, the tank or the big RV thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kind of brought it back. But there was that point in time where I was like, somebody just killed him. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah. I also think it was interesting to show that even like because for all intents and purposes, he was a good dude.
Yeah, but
like
that
pretty
serum,
well-meaning.
He was well-meaning, but he's attention seeking. He wants this, like.
Oh, he wanted the limelight of being Captain America.
He wanted the limelight. He really thought that he was Captain America, like Steve Rogers was, and he thought he was because he actually fought in the war and whatever. And that serum really shows who you are, because people forget that when in Captain America, the first one, when Steve Rogers took it, it just amplified like how good he was. Mm-hmm. When these other people took the serum, it really shows who they are. So this kind of showed who he was.
But even that moment where his partner died.
That was a dark moment for Marvel because I don't think you and I had talked about that. That was a dark moment.
And it isn't very often, it doesn't get talked about very often, but Marvel has this like running rule where their superheroes don't ever kill anyone. Any people. Right? Like think about it.
They don't go out of their way to like kill people. They'll get rid of the villains, but like they don't go out of their way to like, I'm gonna hunt this guy down and kill him.
Like, okay, people in the Marvel universe that have done that. The Punisher, Deadpool, Jessica Jones, kind of, which I know you haven't seen. But that's just about it. Well, I'm assuming Black Widow.
That we haven't seen that though.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. We haven't seen it, and a lot of their stuff is non-lethal.
Right.
Which,
like if you think back to every villain in a movie, none of them were like they hunt them down like to find them, but it's not to hunt them down and be like, you don't get the vibe of killing. Like when this happened and this fake Captain America was chasing him, like you knew like
he beat him to death.
Yeah, and then you take that shield and like do it like the filming of it was phenomenal to give that vibe of how dark this was. And then I love the very next episode. It literally picked up where it left off. And that fight scene was one of the best fight scenes they have choreographed.
Oh, like when that redheaded lady kicked the guy into the beam and you just like heard his neck snap. Like I physically went, oh.
Like that UFC fight that just happened not too long ago. Did you watch that where the guy broke his leg? Oh, we were at the bar. And it was on, and that guy kicked the other guy, and that's what broke his leg. And the snap was so loud, I can still hear it.
Yeah.
That was the same thing as that Marvel kick you're talking about. That snap. That fight scene was really good choreographed in the next one where Bucky and Sam go and fight him. Like those were great choreographed fights.
Yeah. I also really, really enjoyed when the Wakandan guard showed up and was it Bucky was like, hey, you probably shouldn't mess with them.
Mm-hmm.
And fake Captain America was like, oh, whatever, and tries to fight him. And Bucky's just like, told you.
And I love how they're just standing there watching. They're just like,
and then they like eventually try to like help a little bit.
That's something I told Logan because one of the things in Marvel is what are they going to do with Black Panther 2? Like, what characters do we have now that's going to connect to that? And I keep forgetting that Bucky is connected because that's where he stayed. So that was when that happened. It dawned on me, like
when she like took his arm off.
Like, could Bucky and them be in Black Panther 2?
I think so. It'd be neat.
But they're gonna make another Captain America movie that we never knew about. It's not even in the timeline.
Did you see the interview with Anthony Mackie about like was it he was talking to his son about like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or no the end of Infinity War and his son was like, "Wait, are you Captain America?" And Anthony Mackie was like, I think so. And then he said like a month later, his son like realized that, oh crap, my dad's Captain America and like ran up and gave him a big hug. You seen that interview?
Because yeah, he got the shield or whatever from
Steve.
No, I really liked Falcon the Winter Soldier. A lot of people, not a lot, but there was a lot of blowback from the final episode.
I mean, they made a political statement.
They did, but like I said, I felt like though it wasn't too far one way or too far the other.
Well, Steve, I think we can all agree that these immigrants are ruining our country.
They are ruining the country, but what I'm saying is we need borders. That's what I'm trying to say. And one side of the border can have Raising Cane's, and the other side can have Chick-Fil-A, and you pick
where you want to be. One side has religion, And the other side has Raising Cane's.
And one of these sides is going to have Safe Moon, and the other side's going to have
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin. And
Exactly.
you interpret that how you want and pick for these options. I'm not going to tell you which side they're on or what's connected, but you have to figure that out.
We're not getting political. Okay.
No.
Just figure out which side of the religion Dogecoin border you want to be on.
And another side's going to have a specific NBA player wearing a China hat from Barstool.com. And you interpret that how you will. Hopefully they wrote him a check this month. Anyway.
I also really think the idea of having I liked the storyline about the black guy that was basically super serumed.
Yes, because that's actually, I like how.
I mean, you want to talk about the ugly truths of this country? We can get into that, but that was a really like easy, not easy to digest, but like easily understandable way to like remind people that there are a lot of African American veterans in this country that were unknowingly like recruited for trials with drugs that they have no clue what they were taking.
Like way back. We're talking way back.
I mean, World War II.
Because it first started, was it this? Not the Civil War didn't do the drugs and stuff, but
it was World War II.
Or what? Oh, I was thinking World War One.
No. Yeah,
but Brad, World War II is a conspiracy theory. What happened overseas never happened.
Exactly. Now we all know that nothing's real.
Hitler is a artist comedian still alive. All right, now I'm turning to Tim Dillon. No, like I said, you could turn your brain off for a second. Then when that come up, you could be like, "Oh, we can't relate to this, but we can process that."
Well, I think there's a certain amount of people that probably don't know that story.
Right. Like we do, but people younger than us probably don't.
And even I tried, like, after watching that first episode where they kind of explained, like, okay, I was given this stuff and they didn't tell me what it was. I went back and, like, looked up some articles because admittedly, I knew the stuff had happened, but I didn't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't. I wouldn't claim to. But it's gross. It is a really bad part of our history, but I think in a show where it's basically Captain America 2.0,
mm-hmm.
you got to kind of look at the nasty underbelly of what America is.
Right.
A little bit.
Right. Now going into the fictional part, I liked this part and didn't like this part. I liked this because it was like, look, somebody else was this person before Steve in World War II. Or like after World War II.
Yes.
Like it was Steve, but then look at what America did.
Covered it up,
and then they had the original, I guess I can say a black Captain America. And no one knew. And again, that kind of points out, and to me, that kind of takes, movies have done this, but since they've done other things, it took it as a shot to our government and stuff. I don't care what side you're on. They're both wrong. Like to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a shot at that. Like, look how shitty politicians are. Look how shitty the government can be in a Marvel way.
Yeah. And is there anyone worse than the guy who created the fake Captain America? Like the politician dude, the fake politician?
Yeah,
that guy sucks. Also, who is the lady that recruits him?
We don't know. I heard, now this is where theories come out. I heard, and I think it's true. That was supposed to, somewhere around that was supposed to be the connection from Black Widow. I think
Okay.
her character was supposed to be in Black Widow or something. Because originally, before COVID, there was a connection between Black Widow and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now, it wasn't like a big connection like we might see in Doctor Strange and WandaVision,
Hmm.
um, because we were supposed to see Black Widow first, then Falcon the Winter Soldier. So I guess that was supposed to be the connection. I don't really know who that is. She's the girl from Seinfeld or whatever.
Yeah, it's Elaine
Yeah.
from Seinfeld.
I really don't know what that character is supposed to be, but I think they're setting up is it the Defenders?
No, the Defenders is Jessica Jones and the Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
There's another group that this is building up for, and I can't remember what it's called. It's not the Young Avengers. There's another group that's being set up because this character, when he's called the Agent now,
Yes.
it's supposed to be setting up. So I think maybe it might be kind of like Samuel L. Jackson's character in a way.
Okay.
Um,
I'm trying to look up what her official uh name is.
from her character.
Yeah. Also, Sharon Carter doing the turn to be a bad guy.
So
That was interesting.
I want to look to see what that is. I cannot remember. What does the Agent Falcon Winter Soldier lead to? I don't know. So me and Logan had this conversation. We There's so many things this could lead into. Like, is this going to lead into Falcon and Winter Soldier 2? Then we saw it's going to be Captain America 2. Does this continue into that? It's rumored this sets up Secret Invasion,
Okay.
that she's actually a Skrull.
Okay.
And this can also set up to what's happening in outer. Oh, have you seen Spider-Man Far From Home?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
You've got to watch it because the end of it, the credit scene, kind of relates to what could happen here.
What did I say that lady's name was?
You didn't.
I'm trying to look up. Wait, Don Cheadle was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. I don't care about.
Julia Louis Dreyfus. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine
Oh yeah, that was her name.
is the lady's name. Okay. This is really bad podcasting that we're doing right now.
It defines podcasting. If it was the sports show, maybe, but this is a podcast. Oh, you talking about because we have to look it up?
Yeah.
We don't have fingers. I don't know how to type this in because I want to know. It's going to bother me what they set up.
Ooh. Okay, so evidently she's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, Shield is from more.
in the comics.
Hmm. Maybe it is the Dark Avengers. I don't know. They talked about how they're setting something up.
Oh, Steve, evidently she was banging Nick Fury.
Oh, we're gonna find that out later on.
I don't know. Wow. She was getting some of that Fury strange. I mean, that's a movie I'd watch.
Maybe that's what Secret Invasion's about. The old sausage and the old.
Lady wants her some Nick Fury sausage. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
This is going to bother me because I read it. God bless it.
What are you looking for, Steve?
Because his character, the agent, is setting up a different group. And I remember reading it after it happened, and it's not the Defenders, but like I can't remember if it's like the Dark Avengers or
I mean, isn't the Young Avengers the thing?
yeah, but that's not who he is. That's supposed to be like Ant-Man's kid and um
Isn't She-Hulk in there?
yeah, and then like Hawkeye's daughter and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Which I feel like that's a TV show. That
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
it could be a movie.
What I'm trying to say, like, I don't want that as a movie. I want that as a TV show.
All right, well, I give up. I can't find it.
So, what is the next thing that comes out?
Loki's coming out in June, I think. June 9th, Loki's coming out on Disney Plus.
Did you see there's a totally off subject here? Did you see there's a new Conjuring coming out?
I did. I'm not about those movies though.
I'm all about this movie.
The only one I thought about watching was Unholy with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I've never even heard of it.
It's just now coming out on like digital. It came out in theaters like a month or two ago.
You're just obsessed with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I am. There's a movie on Hulu called The Postcard Killings, based off a James Patterson book. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's great acting by everybody. But yes, Loki comes out June 9th, and then Blue comes out in July.
Okay.
And then you'll have that Shang-Chi movie and the Ten Rings coming out, which I have no idea how that's going to fit into Marvel. It's a Marvel thing. The only thing that Logan has told me that we know of is from Iron Man 3.
That's the villain, right?
Yeah, that villain they made up is actually a real person.
Yeah.
And I guess throughout the Marvel movies, there's been symbols of this 10 rings all over Marvel movies, apparently.
I feel like if there was ever going to be a tie-in to Doctor Strange, that would be it.
You would think, but it's not. Loki could really tie into Doctor Strange.
Or the
Loki,
Iron Fist.
but Loki, I think, is where we're going to see the multiverse.
Okay.
Because if you've watched all the trailers, Owen Wilson's character and them, they're responsible for the flow of time. So when the Avengers travel back in time, that destroys a lot of it. So I think what put it back together was when Steve Rogers went back to take all the stones back. Well, in that one where Loki disappeared, that ruined it. So they're taking Loki and they said, you need to fix this. So they're trying to get the flow of time back. So they're going to bounce around all over the place. So we're probably going to see the multiverse. So even though WandaVision probably opened it or did something, I wonder if Loki messing around is going to do something as well. Because I remember there being a picture and it shows like Loki, and it's a cartoon that shows Loki and Wanda like bouncing around, and then Doctor Strange shows up like, I was gone for 5 minutes and look what you guys did, or something. Like,
yeah.
you look what you did.
Can I make a New Girl reference?
Sure.
Which, by the way, has become my favorite TV show.
Well, this has been a great podcast. There's no longer Dogecoin being paid.
It's just a classic low-key Wanda mess around. That's what you call that.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't watch New Girl.
It's a good show.
Lucifer's coming back soon this month. I have to watch.
I'm excited about that.
Oh, you watch Lucifer?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I've had a lot of free time now that I'm not constantly streaming Twitter, just getting angry about things.
You can watch something and stream at the same time.
But it takes up my whole life. It's like, when am I supposed to get mad about Illinois losing recruiting battles to other schools?
You are going to come back when we get closer to college football.
Oh, for sure. I'll just create a new Twitter account if I have to.
And then you'll just go.
And it'll be at Dr. Chicken Strips, just like my thing.
And then you'll just look at your old Twitter, follow everybody that you did before, and it'll be right back where it was.
True. None of them are going to follow me back.
Because you're like Dr. Chicken Strips.
Who the hell is this guy?
Does he work for Raising Cane's or Chick-Fil-A? Or Popeyes? Can we talk about Popeyes then? Can we throw that in there?
Oh, Popeyes is in the same vein. I just think, but doesn't Popeyes has like bone-in chicken, right?
Do they? I've never been there.
I don't know. I went to Popeyes once when I was in college.
I didn't because there was none around. But up here, you've seen it. You got Popeyes, Chick-Fil-A, and then like 0.2 of a mile, you got Raising Cane's.
Well, you also live in Chicago.
I live in a suburb.
So
because the next time, hold on,
living in Chicago.
Next time somebody says living in Chicago or your mayor when they're talking about the Lord of the Rings character Lightfoot, I'm going to lose it because that's not my mayor. That is in Cook County. She needs to go put the ring in the freaking fires of Mordor and let's get this over with.
Okay, Steve, who is the hero of Lord of the Rings?
Samwise Gamgee.
Okay, did you read that thing too?
Yeah, but we had this conversation years before. We've talked about it before that.
Yeah, no, that's why I brought it up because like I remember you and I talking about this in like 2006.
If not before.
Before that, it was probably 04.
It was probably 1974. I don't know.
We were sitting there eating a tub of peanut butter
with saltine crackers,
watching Lord of the Rings because there was nothing else to do.
The original DVD, like what I have is the newer DVDs from years ago. This was the original because you had the box set.
Yeah, the extended cuts.
The extended. Can we get the Lord of the Rings cut? Do you know how much?
15 hours long.
I would watch it.
Oh, I'd watch every bit of it.
I would call off work for 3 months.
I would lock myself in a room and do nothing but watch it for months.
I would buy a tote full of peanut butter and watch it.
I'd buy my body weight in peanut butter.
Like South Park, where they played the games and they got huge. That's what I would look like afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Just gains.
Hey, that's enough protein.
Is it though?
Peanut butter's protein.
There's not a lot of protein in peanut butter, man.
It's enough for Lord of the Rings to get me through to watch it. Just give me some protein and B12.
Good luck.
But yes, back to the thing. Loki's coming out, multiverse stuff. It looks really good. The last trailers and sneak peeks they're showing, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Then you got Black Widow coming out, which I'm not as excited for because it's been 16 years. The only thing I'm excited for is to see David Harbour in it.
Isn't that supposed to be like her dad?
I don't know if it's her dad or some. I have no idea. But he's supposed to be the Russian version of Captain America.
Oh, really?
Like before. This has been years after, but that's what he was made for.
Okay.
Now, obviously, it's David Harbour, so he They call him fat in the thing, but I think he's that weight because he was filming it around the same time that he did Stranger Things season 3, where he got bigger on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing I'm looking forward to, Stranger Things 4.
Okay. I'm not as excited anymore for Stranger Things.
I am, because did you see the creepy trailer that meant nothing, but it was creepy at the same time?
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to get more excited when it gets closer, but I'm not like counting down the days like I was for the other Stranger Things.
Well, because we don't know. We have no idea when it's coming.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be this year, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Why wouldn't it? I think they should put it out now. Well, they'll probably wait until around Halloween, right?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know what holiday they're going to look at because they've done Halloween. Did we freeze? Are we unfrozen?
Yeah.
Because they did Halloween in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was it the first season?
Yeah.
Then the second season was the same thing, wasn't it?
It wasn't Halloween. Was it Thanksgiving?
Maybe because season 3 was 4th of July. It could be Christmas. So maybe it'll come out around Christmas. I don't even know if they're done filming it
Well,
yet. That's the thing. Because I don't think they started filming it before COVID happened. I think it was like right when COVID hit was when they were going to do it, and then they stopped. They didn't do it. Then they've gone in waves of like filming it, pause, filming, pause.
I finally watched it.
Won't watch it. Nope.
You haven't watched it?
I don't watch those movies, and I'm not going to.
Mike from Stranger Things on there.
Yeah, I could give a rat's ass if he's in it. Michael
He's really
Jordan.
good.
Michael Jordan could be in that movie, and I won't watch it.
What if Michael Jordan was in it with the Toon Squad?
Nope. I don't care if Tim Tebow
And
was in it.
and Pennywise was LeBron James.
Still wouldn't. Well, I'm not going to watch it because of that. I'm not going to watch Space Jam 2.
Okay, you know he actually got poked in the eye, right?
But you don't have to look like your kid was brought out and beaten with a bat in the legs.
But Steve, he got a high ankle sprain.
Oh my God.
He'll never be the same.
He'll never be the same, and he'll have to put something on Instagram saying how he's not supposed to play, but for the fans that he doesn't care about.
For the love of the game.
As long as China cashes the check.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the whatever Chinese sweatshops that create his shoes.
But Kyrie and what's his face on the Clippers? Kawhi Leonard are worse about that stuff than he is. Not the flop.
Which, by the way, have you watched? Have you actually watched any of the playoffs?
Snippets.
So I'm stuck in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and I have nothing else to do other than watch the NBA. And I watched Denver and Portland yesterday, and freaking Damian Lillard is the scariest human being on earth.
When he's on,
that dude, it is insane.
He's really good.
Like, I've known heat check guys, but he's like the ultimate heat check.
He shoots like the heat check like Steph Curry, but he has the Mamba mentality. Like, that's how he plays.
That's just it. He's like Steph, but with more of a killer instinct.
And he's trying so hard. He's trying so hard not to leave Portland.
By the way, your little like highlight videos are really great.
I work really hard on those.
Yeah, no, they come out really nice.
That's what I did when they were fixing the air conditioning today.
Oh, really? Um. Well, actually, what I was gonna say is like, if it did boot me off for a reason, it was gonna work out pretty well because I have to work at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh no, we're reaching the end anyway. So when I edit this, people are going to hear that like, "What do you mean the end? It was just whatever." You're talking about Leonard in Portland, and then goodbye. I don't know. I can keep that whole film up. This is what happened between Steve got up to piss and grabbed a piece of this small cake and ate it while I sat here.
Dude, cake sounds really good.
It's like a strawberry shortcake.
I am sitting here. I got the munchies right now, man.
Well, you do look like
Mike.
Magnum PI.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Now, if you just had scotch and a cigar, like a piece of cake next to you, would all fit. And a
I
dead
should
hooker in the
have
room
just.
next to you. Oh, that got dark. That must be something else.
That did. That got really dark. That was like a. That was a Family Guy cutscene.
Watching Family Guy yesterday, they did a cutaway, and it was when Peter's friends with the women, and they talk bad about him behind his back.
Oh yeah.
And he comes back to Lois, and he's like, "Lois, you were right. They were talking bad about me." And she goes, "Oh, Peter, what happened?" He goes, "The cutaway was so long, I forgot everything they said, but I know it was me."
I watched the weirdest episode of Family Guy that I've ever seen on the elliptical the other day. And it was like Stewie gets pregnant with him and Brian's baby.
Oh yeah, he like impregnates himself with Brian's DNA. Yes, it's
Is the
creepy.
weirdest episode. Yeah.
Yes.
I could have gone my whole life and never seen that.
And the babies that are born is what scars you.
Yeah. I just could have done without that whole episode.
When he's driving to the hospital, he goes, "Just call the number on here." He's like, "There's 4 numbers." He's like, "This is the number, Brian. You have to call."
Oh God!
And then when they're
Call
born,
the doula.
then they're splattering in the car. I could have gone without that, and I could have gone without the
Yeah,
kid being born.
yeah. I could have done without the whole thing. Really.
All of it. But before we got off, I was
Just
saying about him in Portland was he doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to team up with superstars. He wants to win there really badly, but it's not going to happen.
which sucks. Because think about like loyalty is not a super big thing in the NBA.
No, because he brought that up in the bubble last year.
Yeah.
Was he doesn't want to team up with people if he doesn't have to. He wants to win, and he wants to win in Portland.
Did you see Kevin Durant didn't put Russell Westbrook in his top 5 players he's ever played with? What a scumbag.
That's a scumbag, and that's very ignorant. Like how his mama needs to slap him.
I think Kevin Durant's probably one of the least likable people in the NBA.
Yeah, all the stuff I give about LeBron James, I give it equally to when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors.
And now he's on another super team with Brooklyn.
Yeah, when people bring that up to me, I'm like, no, I give him I don't say it vocally because I don't know that many Kevin Durant fans actually.
I don't think he has a lot.
He did at one point.
He does.
When he was with the Thunder, he had a lot.
Well, yeah, but I don't know anyone who like is a diehard Kevin Durant fan.
I don't either. There used to be like his shoes were all over the place.
And he had good shoes. Like I liked his shoes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, scumbag. Because Westbrook, I have a love-hate relationship with. There's times I'm a huge fan of his and times I'm not. but the past
Well,
couple of years I have been.
I was talking about this the other day. Like, it's sad to me watching him play to a certain extent because, like, his game is not going to age well.
No, and it's slowly happening.
Yeah. Like, he's still there. He can still do it, but it's not what it was.
Well, it's like I know you got to go, but it's like Derrick Rose. Now he's slowly kind of doing things he used to do, but yeah, I mean he got hurt, but that type of stuff doesn't age very good.
Well, but Derrick Rose now plays a different game.
Right, and now
Like, Derrick has developed an old man game.
Is Westbrook going to be able to do that? Because the greats do that. I'm going to name two, and nobody can deny me of this: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. And anybody cannot deny, especially Kobe Bryant, when he was first in the league, guess what he did? High flying, slam dunking people and doing this and that. I think it was after the first or second championship, he kind of realized, like, I have to develop a post game. I have to develop an old man game early because I can't maintain this.
Which, by the way, Kobe's post game was electric. Electric
slide. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to say about LeBron James. Now he's slowly proven me wrong, but like that high flying stuff only goes so far.
But Steve, he's got a high ankle sprain now. He's never going to be the same.
Can he just go away? Can he just go live at the Nike factory?
In China?
Can he go break more NBA rules and not get suspended for them to sell tequila?
Wait, is that an NBA rule?
There's COVID protocols where if they go to certain places and this and that, and he broke them. And the NBA's rebuttal to that was basically like, oh, it was a safe environment. Was their thing. Now I get it. Is it a kind of a stupid thing? Kind of, yes. Do I want them to suspend him because of who it is? Yes. But at the same time, I get it. But at the same time, it's like someone.
I feel like that rule is just to keep James Harden out of strip clubs.
Well, Pat McAfee said on a show yesterday, he said, "What if who's the guy on the Suns?
Chris Paul?
No, the other guy that's good.
Alex.
Is it Booker?
I don't know. They're playing right now.
Booker? Is that his name?
Devin Booker?
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
I think so. Isn't that who's good?
Yes.
So Pat McAfee brought this up. He said, what if Devin Booker did that? What if he went to go sell his tequila at this place and the NBA found out? Do you think they would have suspended him for a game or two for breaking protocol?
Oh, 100%.
100%. They're not going to do it because it's LeBron James.
It's LeBron James and it's the Lakers.
Right. And they've already, Pat McAfee heard some rumblings from some NBA players. They're not happy about it.
Hey, which, by the way, now that Golden State got booted out of the play-in tournament, there's zero chance there's a play-in tournament next year, right?
Again, you have to go, and I'm whatever. The playing thing didn't make sense to me because in my mind, a playing game should be for the 8th seed, right? When you talk about a playing game,
yeah,
not a playing game who's going to get the 7th seed, and then another playing game who's going to get the 8th seed.
Well, I don't know. I kind of liked it because I would rather watch Memphis than Golden State, but I think the NBA is losing a fuckload of money now that Golden State's not in the playoffs.
Well, you may not see a playing game because LeBron was complaining about it, but he's the one that wanted it in the first place.
Yeah.
And well, that's why they did it.
He's complaining about it now that he's got to play in it.
Right. But LeBron fans will tell me I'm wrong.
Because you are wrong, and LeBron does nothing wrong. And he's basketball Jesus.
And he's anti-vaxxer. Did you see that? Now, do I care? No, I don't care. If people don't want to get vaccinated, don't.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a choice. And that's all I'll say about that. That'll get me in trouble. It's a choice at this point.
I was about to say, you're going to get this taken off YouTube.
It's a choice. I don't care. I don't know. It's LeBron. You talk all this stuff about politics for a long time, and then this pops up, and you just, whatever. Ron White's tequila is probably better anyway.
I mean, who would you trust to have a good tequila brand? Someone who's literally like pickled his own liver in alcohol, or LeBron James?
Pickled in alcohol, of course.
Exactly. Like
I
if
think
somebody's gonna know what good tequila tastes like, it's Ron White.
I think his is called Number One. Number One.
Of course it is.
They drink it on. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast like 3 times. I think it was the second one,
Yeah.
second or third one they brought, and they got drunk off of it. And Ron White, I think it was on, every time I come here, Joe, you just get me fucked up. I'm hot, I'm drunk.
Just like Alex Jones.
I don't think Alex Jones has gotten high on that though. He's gotten drunk.
Yeah, no, I don't think he smokes.
He does. He just didn't do it on there.
Oh.
I don't think he has.
Which I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to see Alex Jones stoned.
So if you go to Spotify and type in Joe Rogan and Alex Jones, someone uploaded one of Alex Jones's episodes with Joe Rogan on his InfoWars.
Oh, really?
It's like 4 hours long.
Oh, hey, you there's a really, really good Joe Rogan with a dude called Matty Matheson. And he's one of my favorite chefs. And you should listen to it.
Is that one of the most recent ones he did, like not too long
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah. It's super interesting because the dude's parents were Mormon, and he like talks about breaking away from that family. And to look at him now, he's like 100% covered in tattoos, and he's this big fat guy. Like, does not look like he's ever been Mormon. But it was a super interesting Joe Rogan podcast.
I'll listen to that. You need to listen to the Dave Chappelle one. It's not bad.
I can't look up Joe. Like, I have the Spotify app, and I tried to look up Joe Rogan podcast on there, and all it has is super old episodes. It's got like episode 90.
Oh no, I just looked up today. I have them all. Then I went back and listened to Dan Crenshaw at the beginning.
Like, I'll look it up right now. I guarantee.
See, look. I have it right here.
Why? Yeah, see, when I go to all episodes, there's literally like episode 2 from 2015.
Episode 2, he started in 2009.
I know. I don't know what's going on. Like, why my phone won't let me.
Here's mine. Like, it's.
I don't know.
Does it need to be updated?
I've tried everything I can. I can't, like, I don't understand why I can't.
And the Ethan Suplee, whatever, that's a good one. And Dave Smith. I'm a libertarian now.
Oh, yeah?
Is there anything recording-wise we want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I got it all off my chest.
All right. Our Lord and Savior, Tim Tebow. Blouses.
Blouses.
Fingers and blouses.